Boyanani, a Taino girl's first adventure. And I'll be corrected if I didn't pronounce that right, or I didn't pronounce Taino, because it could be Taino. It's a children's book, by the way, that takes young minds on an exciting journey into Jamaica's early history. Dr. Leslie Gale Atkinson Swaby is the author, and she's here to flip through the pages. Good morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Takahi, that means good morning or
Say that
good day.
again?
Takahi.
Did I pronounce Boyanani right?
Boyanani.
Boyanani. What about Taino?
Taino, yes.
It's Taino?
Not Taino, Taino.
Taino. Why? And well, let me not say why first. We heard about Arawaks, and by your own admission in the book, you said you didn't hear about the Tainos until in the 90s.
Yes.
So why did you want to go back all the way and let us know what was going on back then?
Well, you know, it was a culture shock for me at the time, but I was open and I wanted to learn more about them, and it developed into a passion that has lasted over 20 years.
Okay.
I mean, every aspect from their music to their language and their food habits.
So why were we always hearing Arawak, Arawak, Arawak?
Well, there are many reasons that I could have contributed to it. One is the mixing up of the language family, because the Taino did speak an Arawakan language, just like the Lokono, which is the Arawak's true name, and the Kalinago, which we were taught were Caribs. And then also they used to be referred to as Island Arawaks and Island Caribs to distinguish them from those who lived in South America. But over time, people stopped using the island before, and then they started confusing the two groups. So the Taino is a term that has been used in reference to them from the early 19th century in like Haiti and also in the Hispanic countries.
Yeah. You spent more than 20 years researching all of this,
Yes.
and I think I kind of asked already, but it's 2019.
Why cares?
Is it? Why is it?
But there are
important?
people who do. There are people who it is important their heritage, and the interesting thing is that more and more Jamaicans that I have encountered have done DNA profiling and have realized that they not only contain European and African ancestry, but they also do have Indigenous American in their DNA. You know, I haven't been fortunate to do it yet. I plan to. But
does it mean you're a historian, archaeologist?
I'm an archaeologist. There is a distinction between the two. We study artifacts and cultural materials.
But you're a bit of a historian also.
Yes, but I don't want to make claims on other people's profession.
Okay.
I mean, we do use some of the tools that historians do, because we do archival research also.
The story is about a young lady who shouldn't have gone somewhere, got lost because she didn't follow instructions. And in the book, you suggest that you've spoken to people of Taino heritage. Did you get that story from them, or is this straight imagination?
No, it was imagination. It was in 2010, IOJ was doing a Taino Day, and I wanted an activity that would engage the students, and I didn't want to do a boring presentation, so I created that story in one night. The original story, it has been expanded, you know, because it's now in book form and thing, but it was influenced by how mischievous I was as a child. I mean, that was something that I would explore. I used to give my grandmother a lot of trouble, thank God.
When I read it, I started to think about how many times we have read in recent times of young people being taken away, lost. Were you trying to send a message here?
Yes, you should be. People should always know where you are going. You should not go anywhere unaccompanied, especially minors, and that, you know, parents mean well and you give the instructions not because they're trying to inhibit your freedom, but because they care and they're protective of you.
At the end of the book, you do a glossary and you give us Taino words and the meanings. But in the book itself, you also give a lot of words, and you would say, well, like you just said, good morning, it means so and so. Why did you want us to learn these Taino words? Because
we believe that it was a dead language.
It isn't?
And it isn't a dead language in the sense that some of the words were recorded by the Spanish in their ethnohistoric accounts. About up to 1,000 Taino words were recorded, and some of them have been incorporated in English, and some of them have been incorporated in Spanish. I mean, we take hurricane, for example, that comes from hurricane, with canoa, tobacco, you know, even anano, the scientific name for part of the scientific name for pineapple. These are all coming from the Taino vocabulary. And since the resurgence, which has been taking place for the past 30 years, where indigenous peoples from other parts of the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Cuba, you know, they are reclaiming their Taino ancestry, and they have attempted to revive the language.
And I didn't learn that from the book. I learned that because we had a little chat before the interview when you were suggesting or telling me that they are Taino people,
Yes, they are.
even now in the country.
Yes, because actually recent DNA tests in Puerto Rico said about 60% of the population do have Taino DNA.
Do they speak the language?
Some of them do.
In Jamaica?
There are pockets of people who identify as Taino, and they do try to incorporate the culture. There's a group that has been formed by the new cacique, Cacique Nibon Riche Cayman. Nibon Riche means Red River, and Cayman is the indigenous name for crocodile.
Oh.
And his group is Yukayeke. Yukayeke means village.
Right.
Yamaye, which is the indigenous name for Jamaica, not Jamaica. That's his Hispanic version. And Guanai, which is one
What's
of
the historic name for Jamaica?
That's Hispanic, Jamaica.
Yeah, that's Hispanic. What was the other one?
Yamaye.
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 So that's the Taino's
Taino.
word for Jamaica.
Yes, and the root of it is Ama. Ama means river or water. So my interpretation of it is land of many rivers, which is, not unusual because we know our land of wood and water.
Okay. You want to get this in the curriculum?
I would like to. I have submitted it to the
Okay.
ministry.
So you're just waiting on ministry?
Yes, I'm waiting on
Going to be a
ministry.
follow-up?
Yes, I plan. I've been encouraged to write another one. I hope I can make it a trilogy, and I hope that Jamaican students will have an appreciation for the
Where could we get the book?
In terms of bookstores, it's available at Cozy Corner, Bookophilia, Sangsters, Kingston Bookshop, gift shops. We have Art Connect Jamaica, and we have Craft Cottage and the Institute of Jamaica gift shops, along with Liberty Hall and
All right.
National
Fantastic.
Gallery.
I enjoyed it. I'm sure the kids will. I'm sure the kids will, and I pray that too we'll have success with it and come up with a couple more.
Ha home?
Yeah.
That means thank you.
Go
Ha
again.
home?
Ha home.
Thank you.
Ha home to
Ha
you.
home.
Author of Boyanani.
A Taino Girls.
A Taino Girls Adventure. Dr. Leslie Gale Atkins Oswebi. All right, folks. That's it for Off the Shelf.